All right, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to this linear inequalities video. We're going to dive right in and work some problems. I'm going to start with the Builder Level 1, Linear Inequality Systems Graphically. So let's jump into this assignment. Solve the following system of inequalities graphically on the set of axes below. State the coordinates of a point in the solution set. Okay, so the way that you do this is you start by looking at this number right here. See, with this first inequality, you start with -7 and you plot that on the y-axis because that is the y-intercept of the linear inequality. And now you're going to use this slope to plot your next point. So you'll go down 3 over 2 to the right. So starting at -7, you go down 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2. Tap right there. And we have to look at the inequality symbol itself to determine whether or not we have a solid or a dashed line. This is a less than or equal to symbol, so we have a solid line, and because it's a less than symbol, we're going to shade below the line. Now we plot this next inequality. So we'll start at the y-intercept of 3, and then we'll use that slope, which is just x, which means 1. So the rise is 1, and the run is 1. Plot right there. It's a greater than or equal to symbol, so it's a solid line, and we shade above that line. Now the solution region of the system of inequalities is actually in this double shaded region right here, so we just have to pick a point that falls within that double shaded region. It could be any point, so I'm going to pick -8, 1. Okay, that's going to be my solution. Yours could be different. Okay, so we agree that that falls -8, 1. That coordinate is right there. So we'll submit that answer. And we got it right. Okay, so that's how you do linear systems. Let's move on to the second part. Write single inequality from context. Okay, so with these word problems, we need to analyze them a little bit. Let me grab this and throw it into OneNote. All right, so Skylar and her children went to a movie theater and will buy bags of popcorn and pretzels. In these problems, there's always two things that are being dealt with. You know, in this one, it's popcorn and pretzels. Could be tables and chairs or whatever. It says here, each bag of popcorn costs $8 and each pretzel costs $3.25. Skylar has a total of $80 to spend. So this is the important point. If you go to the store and you have a total of some amount of money to spend, then you can buy things that are less than or equal to that amount of money. So what we need to do is we need to say that I'm going to spend $8 on popcorn. Okay. And we'll say $3.25 on pretzels. And that has to add up to less than or equal to $80. Now, we don't want to write pop and pret, so we'll assign the variable x to popcorn and the variable y to pretzels. So we'll rewrite this as 8x plus 3.25y less than or equal to 80. And that's what we're going to put in here. Or I see, they give us in this problem that they want popcorn to be labeled B and pretzels to be labeled P. Okay, so instead of writing X, right? They want this to be B, and they want pretzels to be P. Fair enough. So instead of writing 8x plus 3.25y less than or equal to 80, we'll do 8b plus 3.25p less than or equal to 80. And that's what we'll put here. This answer is what you're going to type into your solution box in here, okay? So that's your task to go put that in. So 8b plus 3.25p less than or equal to 80. Let's do that. 8b plus 3.25p and less than or equal to 80. All right, let's submit that answer. And we got that right. Okay, so that's how you do those problems. What's the next part of this? Guess we're on to level 2. Linear inequalities. Level 1. Solve the following linear inequality for f. Write your answer in its simplest form. Okay, something else we need to do some work on. Grab this here. And drop it into our OneNote. Okay, so we have to solve the inequality. So we have to do a little bit of work here. We have negative f minus 9 greater than or equal to 2f minus 1. We're just solving for f, basically, on the left side. Okay, so what would be our solution steps? Well, we want to get f by itself. Right now we have f on the left and the right, so we'll start by subtracting 2f from both sides. All right, now on the right, the 2f minus 2f cancels out, and on the left we have negative 1f minus 2f, that's negative 3f, minus 9 greater than or equal to negative 1. We'll add 9 to both sides. Now we have negative 3f greater than or equal to negative 1 plus 9 is 8. Okay, we're going to divide both sides by negative 3. And because we divided by a negative, we'll have to flip the sign, giving me f is less than or equal to negative 8/3. And that's what we'll go with. Okay, so we're going to put, all you're going to have to do is change the inequality symbol here to be less than or equal to, and then in here you'll put negative 8/3. So let's go back and do that. Less than or equal to negative 8/3. Submit answer, and that's how you do that one. Okay, so on the next step is graphing linear inequalities. Graph the inequality on the axes below. Here's the problem. First we have to solve the inequality for y, then we can graph it. So let's grab that and we'll solve it for y, and then we'll graph it back here in delta. Okay, so here's our inequality, 5x minus 4y greater than or equal to 20. So the first thing we're going to do is move this x term over to the right side of the inequality, because we're always trying to get this in the form y equals mx plus b. So we want to get everything except the y on the right side of the inequality. Okay, additive inverses cancel out. You have negative 4y greater than or equal to negative 5x plus 20. And now we're going to divide each term by negative 4. Okay, now we divided by a negative, so we have to flip that inequality symbol. So now y is less than or equal to negative 5 over negative 4 goes to just 5/4 x. And then 20 divided by -4 is -5. So this is what we have to graph. And the way we would do that is we would go down to -5. It's going to be a closed-in dot here because it's less than or equal to. And then we use the slope, rise over run, to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So what we're looking at is to put in a line, solid line, because it's less than or equal to, and then because it's less than, we're going to shade below that line. So this is what we want to put into delta math. Where do we start again? At -5, and then it's up 5 over 4. So start at -5, go up 5 over 4, solid line, shade below. Okay? And that's how you do that problem. All right, so linear systems. Okay, so we're just going to do this again where we have to plot both of our linear inequalities and then find a point within that region that's double shaded. So -2 for the first one, up 1 over 2. It's a greater than symbol, so it needs to be dashed, shaded above. And then down at -5, we go down 1 over 1 to the right. Okay, again, it's going to be a dashed line shaded below. So this region over here is our region of mutual overlap. So we can do -8, comma, -1, and that will satisfy that inequality. Okay, so that's level 2, and now we'll do level 3, linear inequalities with fractions. We'll grab this because, we'll grab this because we need to grab it and work it out. So here's this one that we need to do. Solve the following linear inequality. All right, so this is going to take a little bit of work, but it's really not all that hard. You just have to kind of work with it a little bit. So 3/4 is greater than negative, open parentheses, x minus 3, close parentheses, plus 2x. Okay, so first we'll distribute that negative symbol through our parentheses there. So I have 3/4 greater than -x plus 3 plus 2x. And now I need to combine like terms. So I'll write 3/4 greater than, and now I have -x plus 2x, which is just x, plus 3. Okay, so now we need to get the inequality, the x to be on the left side of the inequality so we don't confuse ourselves. So we'll subtract x from both sides. Now I have -x plus 3/4 is greater than 3. We'll subtract 3/4 now from both sides. And then we have -x greater than 3 minus 3/4. Before we do anything else, let's deal with this negative symbol. If I change all the signs, I have to flip this inequality sign because we divided or multiplied by a negative number. Okay, so I'm going to go back and do that again. This is the key step where people can get really confused. What I'm doing is I'm dividing or multiplying everything by -1. That's going to change that sign because I'm multiplying by a negative. When I distribute, multiply that -1 through all the terms, I have to flip the sign. So the net result there is all the signs change and the inequality symbol flips. So now this is what you're working with. Well, we only have one other problem. We can't combine -3 with 3/4 until we convert -3 into a fraction with 4 in the denominator. So here's how you do that. You put negative 3 over 1 times 4 over 4, and that'll scale that fraction. So now you have negative 12 over 4. So we have x is less than negative 12 fourths plus 3 fourths. Okay, that's just another way of saying x is less than negative 12 plus 3 all over 4. So x is less than negative 12 plus 3 is negative 9 over 4. So this is your answer right here. X is less than negative 9 fourths. Okay, let's go back and see if that's right. X is less than negative 9 fourths. Okay, so that's how you did that one. And now we're on to linear inequality in the number line. So it wants us to solve the inequality, then graph the solution on the line provided. Okay, first we'll solve it. And then we'll graph it. Okay, so we got to solve this inequality. 70 minus 7x less than 112. Okay, so we'll subtract 70 from both sides. Negative 7x less than, now we just do the subtraction. 2 minus 0 is 2. We can't subtract 7 from 1, so we change this to a 0 and this to an 11. And now that's 42, okay? So negative 7x less than 42, divide both sides by a negative, negative 7. And x, now you have to flip the inequality symbol, is greater than negative 6. So what we're going to do in inequality notation is do x is greater than negative 6. We'll do an open circle at negative 6 and shade to the right. X is greater than negative 6. X is greater than negative 6. And we'll shade on the number line. And I need this to be an open circle at 6. At negative 6. Why isn't it letting me do it? Hang on one second. Try with the mouse. Negative 6. It's not letting me click it. Oh, I've got to click and drag. Sorry. Okay, so click and drag to the right, and then change that to an open circle because it's a greater than symbol. And we'll submit that answer. Okay, just forgot how to enter that. Determining whether an integer satisfies an inequality. Okay, which of the following values are solutions to this inequality? We're going to check them all and see which ones are true. Okay, so now we'll move on. Basically, what you want to do here is write down your inequality, 1 minus 2x less than or equal to 8, and you want to test these values and see if they're true or false. So we'll start with the first value, negative 2. What I'm going to do is put in 1 minus 2, open parentheses, and then I'll put in negative 2, close parentheses, less than or equal to 8. I want to evaluate this and see if it's true or false. So that's 1 plus 4 less than or equal to 8. Is that true? Is 5 less than or equal to 8? Yes. So it's definitely 1 is true. Now we have to test the other ones. How about 1 minus 2, open parentheses. What is that? Negative 11, close parentheses. And then we're going to jump in with less than or equal to 8. So let's see if this is true. 1 plus 22 less than or equal to 8. Well, that's 23 less than or equal to 8. That's not true. Okay, so it's not 2. Now we'll check negative 10. So we'll go in here and put 1 minus 2, open parentheses, negative 10, close parentheses, less than or equal to 8. And we'll solve it out. 1 plus 20 less than or equal to 8. Is 21 less than or equal to 8? No. So it's not 3. It's just 1 only. So that's what we're going to put back in there. 1 only. Okay. And now we'll do graphing linear inequalities. Okay, once again, we have to solve, then graph. Okay. These are fun because you get to do 2 skills in one. So first we have to solve this inequality. Negative x plus 3y greater than or equal to 6. So we'll start by adding x to both sides. 3y greater than or equal to x plus 6. Divide every term by 3. Y is greater than or equal to 1/3 x plus 2. So we're going to go to 2 here, and then we'll use the slope to go up 1 over 1, 2, 3. And then we'll draw a line passing through those points. It needs to be solid. And because it's greater than, we're going to shade above. So that's 2 on the y and then up 1 over 3. So we'll go to 2 up 1 over 3 and shade above. So linear systems graphically. All right, we've already done these before. We'll just do another one. They're good to do. We start at negative 3, go up 3 over 2. It's a solid line shaded above. And now we go to 8 and then down 1 over 3 to the right. Okay, it's a solid line shaded below. So we'll do negative 1 comma 1 as a point that falls within that region that's double shaded. And now we'll write a single inequality from context. All right, we already looked at this. Somebody's name that we have, Chloe. All right. So we'll go in here. Let me paste this in so we can work on it. So it says Chloe's working 2 summer jobs, landscaping and clearing tables. So she's landscaping and tables. And they're going to have us label those. Landscaping is going to be L. I guess they want a lowercase l. And tables is going to be C. All right. So she works no less than 12 hours together. Now this word no less than, okay, that needs to be translated into math as greater than or equal to. All right. So if we wanted, it's no less than 12. So greater than or equal to 12. We just say L plus C greater than or equal to 12. That's what's going to go right here. L plus C greater than, it's not a 1, it's an L. It's probably not the best letter to choose. Greater than or equal to 12. So we'll go back and put that. L plus, oops, get a double L. L plus C, and then greater than or equal to 12. Okay, submit answer. And that is that one there. Okay, now we're going to write a single inequality from context. Let me grab this. Okay, Nora owns a food truck that sells tacos and burritos. So if we look ahead in the problem, they want us to talk about tacos using T, and they want us to talk about burritos using B. All right, so T and B. Tacos are $3.75, so T is going to go with 375, B is going to go with 825, and then she's got to sell at least, so greater than or equal to, 420. So you're kind of building this thing. What you're going to end up with is 3.75T plus 8.25B is, it needs to be at least, so greater than or equal to, 420. So this is your answer. This goes in here. 3.75T plus 8.25B greater than or equal to 420. All right, so let me hop back in there. I might have to jump back and forth. 3.75T and was that plus 8.25B? And then it was greater than or equal to 420, I think. So before I submit, I want to double check that that's what yeah, okay. We'll submit that answer. Alrighty. And I feel like we just did that, or we did two of them. Oh, I see. It's saying it's not done because I assigned 3 problems. Okay. And now finally, we're going to do the system of inequality word problems. So this is kind of the thing that's a little bit new, because you're going to have 2 inequalities that you write from this one problem. And that can be a little bit confusing. So we need to work on that. Let me paste it in here so we can dig into it. Okay, so this is a system of inequality word problem. Now, system means at least 2 inequalities. So you know you're going to write 2. Now, here's the deal. Let's read it. Aiden and his children went into a grocery store where they sell peaches. So we know that this is one of our variables, peaches. And they sell those for 75 cents each, and they sell mangoes for $1.75. All right, this guy has $20 to spend, so that's going to be less than or equal to $20 that he can spend, but it says that he must buy no less than, see this, no less than 16 peaches and mangoes altogether. Now, no less than, okay, that's going to be greater than or equal to. So if you add up peaches and mangoes, this guy has to buy at least 16 fruits. But he can't spend more than $20. So now we have a second one where it's going to be less than or equal to $20. And the peaches cost 75 cents. And the mangoes cost $1.75. So there's your 2 right here. There's your 2 inequalities. P plus M greater than or equal to 16. 0.75P plus 1.75M less than or equal to 20. And it says here, if Aiden decides to buy 7 mangoes, determine the maximum number of peaches that he can buy. So here in this problem, they're giving us some information. They're saying, what about 7 mangoes? So what you have to do with this, once you get your 2 equations set up, is you have to split your paper like this, and then put one of the inequalities here, P plus M greater than or equal to 16. And then on the right side, put the other one, 0.75P plus 1.75M less than or equal to 20. And they give us M, all right? So they give us the mangoes. So what we have to do now is go in and just put P plus, and then mangoes is going to be 7 now. So they're giving us that value greater than or equal to 16. Likewise, in the other one, we're going to put 0.75P plus 1.75, open parentheses, stick the mango number in there, okay, and then less than or equal to 20. So we just have to solve these 2 out. First, we'll subtract 7 from both sides in this one, and you'll have p greater than or equal to 16 minus 7. What is that, 9? So we solved that one already. Now the second one, it's a bit difficult. You could do it without converting to fractions, but I think converting to fractions is easier. So we'll just write these decimals as fractions. And here I just want to, in side work, I want to say, well, what is 1 3/4? That's 1.75 as a fraction. Okay, this one is 1 3/4. All right, so I need to do multiply and add. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. So this equals 7/4. So now I have 7 over 4, basically, times 7 over 1. Okay, and that's less than or equal to 20. I think it's easier this way, 3/4 p, and then it's plus 49 over 4, less than or equal to 20. It would help at this point to not write 20, but write 20 as a fraction with 4 in the denominator. So that's 80/4. Okay, now we need to subtract 49/4 from both sides. And these cancel, so now we have 3/4 p less than or equal to, and then we just have to do 80 minus 49 over in side work. And that's 31/4. Now to get p by itself, we need to multiply by the reciprocal of p, 4/3. And the benefit of doing that is that we can cancel everything on the left and get p by itself less than or equal to. Now we actually can cancel on the right these 4, and we have 31/3. Okay, so we need to see how many times, or like we need to basically divide 31 by 3. Okay, so 3 goes into 31 10 times. That's 30, with 1 as a remainder. And 3 goes into 10 3 times, and you'll see it's just going to repeat, so it's 10.3 repeating. Now, here's the deal. We have to interpret this number, 10.3. Let's do p, oops, I already wrote. P is less than or equal to 10.3 repeating. Now, we need to figure out whether we should use 10 or 11. What are the maximum number of peaches that he could buy? Now look, here's the question. Can you buy 0.3 repeating of a peach? No. So what we need to do is kind of level this problem out and say p is less than or equal to 10. So if we want to finish this off, we need to sketch a number line like this and see where the overlapping solution set is. So here's your little number line. We have 9 here and 10 here. Okay, so let's read our inequality. P is greater than or equal to 9. So that's shaded this way. And then over here it said P is less than or equal to 10. So this is what the inequality looks like graphed. So your solution area is actually in this double shaded region, okay? But it wants us to know, this is the key, the maximum number of peaches that he could buy. So the maximum number of peaches is 10. All right? So sometimes there is no answer, but in this one there is an answer. So I guess the question is, they want us to put in 10. Now, there's a chance, if this ends up being wrong, then the answer is 11. But I think this would be right. Yeah, that's right. So that's how you do all those problems, guys, and I hope it was helpful. That gives everybody with all your different builders a review of what needs to be done. And this is also serving as your test review, so I would definitely study this video and prepare yourself for the test, do all your Delta math problems, and come to me in tutorials if you need help. Thanks.